Hey everybody, it's Michael Offmuth, and today I really want to talk to you about profit sharing programs. Now, when I talk about a profit sharing program, I'm talking about the structures of the formations that go anywhere from a retro profit sharing program to a DOWC or Super CFC type program, and again, the difference in between. Now, we work with a lot of dealership partners, and sometimes they are asking us, hey, how do I start a profit sharing program? Or in the other instance, they might be saying, hey, I'm in a profit sharing program, but do I have the right one, right? And I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I should be doing to build future wealth for myself and for my dealership. And so we'll start with the first. If you're looking to start your reinsurance company or get into a profit sharing program for the first time, the conversation typically starts with contract volume. How many contracts is your store doing on average every month? So are you doing 10 to 15 contracts? Because if you are, you're at a point now where you should be in a retro profit sharing program. This is a very safe mechanism where basically you are enrolling with an administrator, and enrolling with them, you are now basically saying, hey, if I'm going to average 10 to 15 contracts a month, all that underwriting profit's going to go into a bucket, and let's say, and that premium then on a yearly basis, you're going to participate on a percentage of what's left over. Now, that's a retro. There is no real downside to a retro. So if that book of business doesn't perform or something doesn't go well, or maybe your volume slips off, it doesn't have any negative consequences or penalties to you or the dealership. So a retro is a great way to get started with a profit sharing program, especially when you're starting to hit that threshold of 10 to 15 contracts a month. Now, if you're doing a little bit more, let's say you're doing 20 to 25 service contracts a month. And again, there's other contracts and types of contracts that can go into a reinsurance, but we always start the gauge based on service contracts. So again, if you're doing 20 to 25, now you're at the point where we should be talking about a reinsurance program. A reinsurance program, a CFC reinsurance, which is the most typical, will allow you to create your own warranty company, and it has a lot of advantages. Now, having your own warranty company works very similar to like even if you didn't. So inside the finance office, the finance manager rates a contract. If that contract comes back at $1,000, he sells it for $2,000, he still makes $1,000 in retail profit. The difference is that $1,000 and the cost of that contract, a large portion of that is going to go into your reinsurance company. Now, there's a couple fees and things that need to be considered, and we go through all that with our dealer partners, but you have an administration fee, which is the cost associated with every contract. You have, in some instances, ceding fees and claims adjudication fees and things of that nature, but what we like to do is go through with each one of our dealer partners and be as transparent as possible. Here is exactly how this contract's gonna work. So there's no question mark. There's no issues down the road that something wasn't explained to you. You understand every dollar in and every dollar out. With that, then what happens is as time goes on, those contracts that are sold, instead of it going to the administrator now is going to move it down to your reinsurance company. And as those contracts start to stack up and build, what happens is the future claims that come in get paid out of that reinsurance company. Now, with that, on a monthly or quarterly basis, depending on what the dealership wants, we come in and review a session statement with them and go through what that looks like as far as a loss ratio. So for every dollar going in, we want to try to keep you at a certain percentage when it comes to a loss ratio, typically 40 to 50% loss ratio. And inside of that number, what happens, or what that means is if you're losing 45% to 50% of every dollar that goes in, the math is there. So a dollar goes in, 50 cents comes out. The other 50% or 50 cents would then stay inside of that reinsurance company. And on top of that, there's investment strategies and how that money is able to be moved. We go through all of that. We go through making sure a dealership understands how we build a reinsurance company, how that money moves, how we try to build wealth for you, and then how you can leverage your reinsurance company for growth. So whether you're trying to buy multiple locations or maybe it's additional inventory or remodel at your store, whatever the case is, there's ways that we can leverage your reinsurance company to help you see those things happen. So again, a reinsurance company is a very exciting conversation. It's something where, again, I talk about making an impact inside dealerships, and it's all the way from training to the products that we offer, you know, our culture inside of our agency, and the reinsurance programs that we can bring to our dealer partners that allow them to grow. Now, again, a reinsurance has multiple different ways that can be set up. There's different structures depending on the contract volume, but the most typical you see, at least starting with, is a CFC, right? And it's a controlled foreign corporation. Now, if you are doing more contracts and the volume is on a higher number than that, there are other formations, and we can talk to you about that, whether it be a DOWC, Super CFC, NCFC. Again, there's a lot of ways that we can set this up, but I'd love to have the conversation with you and show you just exactly what we can do to help your dealership grow and reach that next level.